Hey, it's Marco here from Fair Realty in Victoria, BC. Today I'm talking about realtor feedback after a showing. So this topic came up in a local Victoria real estate group. A realtor basically expressed his dissatisfaction with fewer and fewer realtors leaving feedback after a showing. A number of other realtors chimed in and they said, wow, it's really unprofessional not to leave feedback after a showing. Others made the point of, sellers get the property ready to show, vacate the home. They're allowing you to take a look at their home, and it's really inappropriate not to leave any feedback as an agent once you're done the showing, blah, blah, blah. But basically, for the most part, the vast majority of realtors thought it was really important to leave the feedback after a showing. I'll give you my 2 cents on feedback as someone who's sold over 1,000 properties in Victoria, BC. So first of all, a little story. 13 years ago, I was showing a house in Langford. And after the showing, the listing agent, he emailed me a request for feedback. And I answered honestly. I said, the layout was not very good. The bedrooms are very, very small and difficult to furnish. And he forwarded that email to the seller. Well, guess what? A few hours later, I get someone phoning me, and it's a very emotional seller. This home had been on the market for a long time, and she chewed me out. How I dare leave that type of feedback. If I don't have anything nice to say, I should keep my mouth shut. She would never use me as an agent, blah, blah, blah. So at that point, I thought, you know what? This job is already stressful as is. Why would I create more stress for myself by leaving honest feedback? So since then, for the most part, realtors email me for feedback. I say, wow, what a lovely home. It's just not the right fit for my clients. And I've been doing that for years. If it's a realtor I have a good working relationship with and that I like, I might say, hey, listen, Bob or Susie, based on some of the other properties, we saw X, Y, and Z, maybe your price is a bit on the high side, so that realtor can use that feedback to go to his or her client to attempt to adjust the price to a more appropriate level. But for the most part, I say, what a beautiful home, but just not the right fit for my clients. Because if I leave honest feedback and the listing agent forwards it to his or her sellers, I don't want that seller upset. I don't want that seller phoning me. I don't want that seller thinking I'm a jerk. When it comes to my listings, when I sign a listing with my sellers, I tell my sellers right away, don't anticipate receiving a lot of feedback. Also, if we do receive any feedback, don't take it personally and don't anticipate that any of the feedback is going to be valuable whatsoever. Sometimes, you get feedback, well, we don't like the floor plan. Well, what are you going to do? Tear down the house and rebuild the house with the right floor plan? 99% of the time, there's nothing you can do about the feedback. And when you don't get feedback after showings, that is feedback in itself because you're not getting an offer. If you get 20, 30 showings and no one leaves any feedback, 99.9% of the time, the price is the problem. The no feedback is feedback in itself. So I personally, as the listing agent, I don't get upset if the buyer's agent doesn't leave a feedback after a showing, because I've educated my seller and I've let my seller know, listen, if we have a bunch of showings and no one's writing offers, the price is too high. That is the feedback, because if the buyer saw the value in your property after the showing, they'd be writing offers. So I'm not in this boat that feedback is super important and should be left after every single showing. If you really want a feedback as the seller, let your listing agent know, and then he or she can personally reach out and try to get in touch with every agent showing the property. But it's not going to change the end result in terms of your property selling. That's it for this week. Marco Duras, Fair Realty.